Hey everyone, today we're exploring an abandoned building here and possibly more. There's an overgrown driveway here that's also next to this property, and I'm wondering if there's another abandoned house there because it looks like the building out front is a farm stand I'm about to show. First, right here we have a trailer and a car that's really close to the roadway. It looks like people had fun just smashing this thing. Also looks like it was in a bad front end wreck. Look at the junk in here. Either this was a super messy person who just kept throwing their trash in the back seat, or this was used as a trash can before being towed out here and left. See, I see some Sterno cans, whole bunch of canned food in here. Are these full? Nope, they're empty. Maybe someone was living in this for a while. Alright, so we're walking back here, and there is a culvert pipe. It does not appear to be blocked at all. The water here is the same level as it is on the other side. And I can see some current taking it away. So it looks like further downstream it just needs a good dredging. Now there is a gigantic sign here in front of the building saying it's for sale, and there's 10 acres of land. To me, it kind of looks like it used to be a farm stand, especially with the silo here. It looks like a pretty flat area here. And then there's a dirt road here leading up to a house. We're gonna try walking up there to the house, and if it's not abandoned, we won't go near it. Otherwise, we'll explore it. It looks like it might be part of the same property. You can see somebody smashed this to get inside. It looks like this does look like it was originally meant to be a business. It's got the front desk, but it looks like maybe later it was repurposed as a house. Maybe the owner even lived in here towards the end. Now, there's a lot of black mold on the walls. See that? Also white mold. Black mold, the toxic kind, is actually pretty rare, but it's almost impossible to identify without lab testing. A lot of times it's actually a greener appearance, the black mold. That's dangerous. Still got the chair in here. A little cubby hole in here. Closet space, breaker box. I'm surprised no one smashed this. But it looks like maybe someone just smashed their way in the front door. Maybe it was a homeless person just wanting to spend the night in here. Maybe that's why the other windows aren't smashed. You see, there's definitely structural problems. You see how the whole back here is sunken really badly. We got the bed in here. I just took an awesome still of that. I think that looked really cool. Look at the mold. Doesn't that look like a face? Right here looks like they may have had a pellet stove. That's what that vent is, probably leading outside. Got a pretty nice rug. Gigantic dog bed. It's kind of sinking here. Gotta be careful where I walk. This looks like it was the bathroom. I see where the sink was on the wall. I see where the toilet was. I see where the clothes dryer may have been. That may have been a clothes dryer, to be honest. It very well could have been. There's the hose for it. I see the fan up on the top for the bathroom, so it... Yep. Look at that mold everywhere. Look at this back room. The mold is so bad in here. Really bad mold. Got a television. Another TV. Got some lights hanging from the ceiling. Recessed lights. No, that's not a recessed light. That right there is another fan. That's another fan. So that's weird. 2 bathrooms. Lots of ventilation. That one doesn't look like it was necessarily a bathroom. Somebody probably just threw this in here. I do see a gigantic cord. I can't see from here. It looks like that might be a 50 amp cord. So that may have been where the electric stove was. So one of these fans might just be for that. It doesn't look like anything for a range. It looks like bathroom fans to me. All right, I want to step out of here. The mold smell is not good. It's already making my nose tingle. Alrighty. You see right here how it's very wet. I believe the back corner of the building is sinking because of it. It's very swampy. This year has been one of the driest years on record for the state of Oregon where this is. And we finally started getting rain just a few days ago. All right, up there is a big stovepipe. So they definitely had a wood-burning stove at some point. The way that looks like a pellet stove was probably there. And the dryer may have come out of that. I don't know. It looks like they were renovating this or something when it became abandoned. But the whole back of the building is sinking, probably due to all the water. There's tons of blackberry bushes around here. And just walking around the area a little earlier, there's also some salamanders. Now, we do have a power line here going back. So I'm thinking there might be a abandoned house up here on the property. Here's somebody's bicycle. You see all the stuff dumped there? I wonder if that was just from trimming the guy's lawnmower. He threw it out because somebody did some trimming on this place at some point. Now you see, you can tell a vehicle comes up here probably a couple times a year, but it doesn't really look like it's lived in, whatever building's up here. And this part you see out by the front where that building we just went in is that's probably only a couple acres. It says there's 10, which would make sense where this house is. Taking a look at these, just looking inside the keyholes, I can see that those haven't been used in a while. And if you look at this gate, it's not really a feasible gate, is it? You see, it doesn't have hinges, it's just chained on both sides. Thing's pretty heavy. I don't think somebody would just deal with putting that thing up every single time. Also considering there's branches down here. I'm thinking it might be another abandoned house attached to the property. Now this road is long enough, it's going to take like 10 minutes to go up. And maybe we'll find some critters along the way. I hear a bunch of birds now. I did hear a big tree frog when I first got here. Right here we got something. Maybe another gate. Ooh. Woolly bear caterpillar. Now, according to Google Maps, this is an even fork. You could drive a giant circle around the house that's here. And we got a trickling stream here, so there is a culvert there. Let's check on that culvert. Here it is. Now today, the only reason I'm taking a walk up this road is because I believe this house is connected to what's out front, and the person's trying to sell it. Wow, look at the size of this slug. That's amazing. Yeah, compared to my finger. It's one big slug. Thing's massive. Whoop. There it goes. There's another one. Gigantic slug. That thing's like 7 inches long. All right. Here we are crossing the stream again. Really nice iron culvert. When that thing blasts, you can tell it makes such big waves. That's a gigantic slug. I'd say that's a good 6 inches or so. Massive. Gotta show his eyes coming out one more time. That's really cool. Even though his eyes are in, I can see the slug creeping forward really slowly. There he is peeking out. There comes the slug. This slug is so big, I bet if I picked it up, I'd be able to feel it licking my hand. There he is, all excited to come back out. All right, everyone, we made it to the top of this driveway. That was a steep hill. All right. Yep, it's exactly what I thought. The house is abandoned. Windows smashed. Doors wide open. Furniture in the yard. Meter still has power, but it's zeroed out. Got a lot of blackberries around the house. I'm relieved that houses around here don't have basements. I am very creeped out here. Only because I thought, you see somebody comes up here sometimes. I thought maybe it could have been somebody who only comes or goes to town a couple times a year, you know? That's what I was freaked out about. Anyone here? Hello? Porch is very rotten. A lot of clothing. A lot of droppings. Maybe from bats flying around. This wouldn't have been a bad place. It's It's a very peaceful location. It's got such a beautiful driveway. I walked enough away from the road you can't hear traffic, so it looks like this may have been an old farm. And out front, that was their place where they sold everything they grew. So many droppings. Look at this. This is looks like the back seat or the bench front seat of a truck. I'm not exactly sure. Got a picture here. All right, I'm not going to show any of these personal papers. Definitely not. But this desk is absolutely covered. There's probably a couple dozen checks. All of them are from August in the 1980s. 1986, I see. Yeah, they're all from 1986. All around the same date in August. Someone was writing out a bunch of checks. It looks like somebody had oil delivered. Maybe that's what they heated this house with. Maybe they're talking about to run farm equipment, fuel oil, one or the other. And their balance in the bank as of 1986 was $1,327. Gonna want to make sure none of that information, those papers, shows up. It's a shower chair, and you see, I know they're not visible from this far, but there's checks everywhere, and they're all signed. I think that's their copy. This is a nice touch. This would have gone all the way up. Cattails. Here we are in the kitchen. A lot of water damage. The whole kitchen sagging. Wow, the whole ceiling's about to come down there. Want to make sure I don't fall through the floor anywhere. Being careful. This goes out into the back porch, which is severely rotted. I'm not going to go through there, but I'm going to try to reach. See? I'm not walking there. I can tell this building is made out of just plywood under the floor. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel very stable walking in here. Like, you know, that's basically what you feel with more modern buildings. Here's the furnace. Hello? Oh my gosh, the bathroom's a wreck. More checks all over the floor. Probably hundreds of them. Back room. Absolutely covered in paperwork. Yep, pictures everywhere. Here's a Polaroid picture of a boat backing up to some water. It's me doing it. I heard some creaking. I got scared. Look at the bathroom. What a mess. It's so gross. I'm guessing that has to be bats hanging out in here. What do you guys think? I'm gonna try not to breathe in here while I just show a little bit. Gross. Taking a few pictures while I'm... Yep. I wonder who was here where they have these notes. Do not touch on the furnace. Over here in the kitchen it said something else. I believe, yep, it says nothing to worry about. Is that what you're supposed to read when you come in to the kitchen in the morning to start your day? You got nothing to worry about? Looks like some kind of nest up there, or that may have been decorative flowers mixed with insulation. Just the insulation pieces makes me think some animal was here. Yeah, this building's falling apart. This is just so cool. I love exploring places like this. And this was a really creepy one because... I swear something's wrong with Google Maps. This is not the building I'm seeing. Yes, it is the building I'm seeing. I just had to look at maps again. And in the picture I'm seeing, it must be really old satellite images because this grass is all nicely cut. It's bright green. The house looked like it had a new roof. I guess it leaked and started sagging and falling apart really quickly. Yeah, I was kind of nervous coming up this road thinking somebody may live here, but the only reason I did come up here is because the building out front's for sale. And the worst that could have happened was, well, this building's the same property. Obviously, they're selling this too. Didn't think they'd get too mad. We gotta go check out this really cool truck in here. Look at this. Big hunk of steel. That's always helpful if you need an extra spacer and a log splitter, or if you're using a milling machine. I got a bunch of them things. I'm always scared to go around these corners in abandoned places. Get stuck on the prickers. Oh, this is scary in here. Very creepy. You can tell water damage is so bad in here. Any abandoned building in this area is going to be so bad because we are right next to the rainforests in Oregon. They're rainforests because they're next to the ocean, so it's always raining. This is the only dry day in the forecast. This was a dry year, but now that we hit the rainy season, it's going to be nonstop. What do you think of this old truck? I think it looks amazing. Just look at the front end of this thing. They don't build trucks like they used to. Really solid. I was knocking on some newer trucks not too long ago, and they don't feel that nice. A lot stronger than the newer stuff. And something else I noticed, you ever see on the new Ford trucks, the ornament on the front of them, it always fades on the newer trucks. It always looks messed up not too long after. But the older ones, it lasts just decades. It looks perfect. Still got the guy's drink on the seat. That looks just like the seat we saw in the house. We're not going to go in this back room. I love that locker. If that thing wasn't rusty, that'd be something totally awesome to have. Look at this old fluorescent vest. It's pretty cool too. There's a strong smell in here. It kind of smells like WD-40. Leaking maybe. Still looks like there's a good amount of tools in here. I bet most of them got stolen, but still. That's dangerous. Or it's already broken off. No, that's dangerous. It's also dangerous how I flipped it around. Let's get that off to the side. This would have been such a nice place to live. It's so peaceful. This place is definitely a total loss, but if you were to tear this down and do anything with it, I would love to have a property like this just to park a trailer on. Be so peaceful out here. The trees are so nice and green. It looks like they planted a tree here. I don't know if that's supposed to be fruit bearing or not. You can see that tree right there I know is a flowering type. They got grapevines everywhere, berry bushes everywhere, and they probably had a big farm out front. So here we go around this steep driveway. It's nice. This driveway, it's really nice. There's a big drop there, but it has enough shoulder room that it wouldn't be scary at all. It's all nicely shaded. Got the slug friends. I heard a bunch of tree frogs. Oh, there's a beetle walking right there. I'm not sure what type that is. So, do you think this is part of that truck? Maybe. That's a really nice back for the trucks. Yeah, it's got window screens. Perfect for sleeping. Look at the moss on that tree. That's what you get for living. I'm not sure if this is technically in or it's next to a rainforest. The moss is just amazing. I'm hoping to see some more critters on the way back. I did see salamanders, but I did not get them on camera. I saw 2 snakes, but they were quick to slither away out of the sun. I interrupted them when they were basking. This would not be a fun driveway in the wintertime. Would definitely have to invest in chains for a property like this. I wonder what the place is selling for. Around here, probably a lot. Ooh, a frog. Got a frog right there. Yep. There he goes. Yeah, since we're in close proximity to the beach, maybe a mile, maybe 2, very close to the beach. So I'm sure around here it gets really foggy all the time. Very wet all the time. Here's someone hunting in the background. This is probably one of the nicest property locations I've ever explored. This is such a peaceful driveway. To live here, you definitely want a truck. Plow yourself out in the winter. Need something rugged to get up this in the winter with tire chains. And just to do maintenance out here. Yeah, look at this. This must be part of the tractor. This thing doesn't look bad at all. This could probably still be used. It's a giant mower. See here? You hook it up to the tractor and this would spin the blade inside. Does it? I'm sure you could unfree that really fast. So right here off to the left, there is a road here. I'm not sure what it used to be on the property, but according to Google Maps, where I showed you that fork earlier on, it's supposed to do a big loop to the house. It's supposed to loop all the way back down. I didn't see that road. And this right here, you go down there, there's a bunch of rotten firewood. It looks like they were cutting up for the winter. That place there had a furnace. I did not see any evidence of a wood stove. There may have been, who knows, like maybe on the back porch or something. But that was either a gas or a diesel furnace. My guess would be gas, maybe. I should have taken a better look at it. It's pretty easy to tell looking at them. Because if it was an oil furnace, it would have to have this big burner that turns the fuel into mist before it can be burned. If it was gas, gas furnaces are usually smaller. So it looks like if it was trimmed, you'd probably be able to see the house from here. And this place already has electrical wires going to it, so it wouldn't be hard to get a house set up here. It's pretty wet. I'm sure the well would probably still work. Yeah, there's the firewood right there. That could probably still be burned by the look of it. When I was in that building out front, the counter, that tree must have been so big that counter came off of, because it has the grain going all the way through it. You have the rings going across the entire thing. That must have been like a 5-foot diameter tree. One expensive cut, unless it's fake. When you build a house this far back, I know it's always initially expensive to put up these power lines because they have to go back so far just for your house, so it comes out of your pocket. And I know anytime I've worked on a house where they had to add power lines to it like that to get rid of, a lot of people just roughed it in the past, and they would have a big generator and they'd turn it on when they needed power. But when it came time to actually connect to the grid, it sometimes can cost up to $3 a foot, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you have this probably half a mile or maybe even more driveway, that'd become a problem. Look at that's a flagpole right there. And you got to pay for the poles, but once it's in place, at least where I live in Maine, once you pay for it, the power company will maintain it for its life. Like if the pole gets ruined, a tree falls across it, the power company will now be responsible for cleaning it up. You just cover the initial fee. I remember like 5 years back, I was looking at this $10,000 abandoned house, and it was completely off grid. It had a diesel generator with a 1,000-gallon tank, and that's just how it was. The people who lived there before had that big generator because it was like 7 miles away from the nearest road. That's how far back it was in the road. In that place, it was too expensive to even think about getting. Would have cost hundreds of thousands getting it livable again. Here is that countertop I mentioned. You see the rings? I don't think that's fake. This tree was massive when it was cut down. And unfortunately, I just looked at the sign out front. It says this is a commercial property. So that means it's probably going to be wrecked as far as another house ever being built. That's really weird. See how the lights... It's got fluorescent lights on the attic ceiling plugged in down here. That's strange, because I can see that there used to be a ceiling down here. What do you guys think this is along the road going to the house? I see a whole bunch of gloves, napkins. It reeks like a dead animal, and it's covered in flies. This property's got enough berry bushes forever. Look at this. All the fields are covered in them. I know these things grow wild out here, but maybe it was a berry farmer. See, these ones haven't even ripened yet. They better get going because it's going to start getting cold out soon. The first frost is right around the corner. Maybe a fax machine along this road. All right, everyone, we came back up to the house for a second look. I brought someone else with me to check it out, and I'm getting a closer look at the place. Places are always more fun to look at when you came up here the second time. You don't have to worry about what's behind the scary corners. This right here, there was definitely a wood-burning stove in this little workshop. You see now, it looks like mice nests through it all. But take a look at this truck. I didn't realize this when I came up here. The entire windshield of the truck is covered in blood. Think this guy hit a deer? Or a person? It's definitely blood. It was parked in here a while ago, and look at that. It's all over the side of it too. See how it's all smashed in? I'm pretty sure that's blood. And I'm now noticing on the back of the truck, look at all these police stickers. I'm going to get my light so you can look at them all. Hopefully. Oh, they're not police stickers, are they? Thought they were. By the way they were shaped. I was looking at them from the inside. Mice really got to this. Oh, the WD-40 smell is coming from inside the truck. How many miles has it got on it? 13250. Yeah, look at that from the inside. The bloody windshield. Maybe that's why this whole place is abandoned. Maybe this was a hit and run and the person's in jail. It's probably just a deer, though. Deer in this area, they're everywhere. Wow. This whole thing is a mess. It's in pieces, the whole engine. Wow. Oh, it's staying up. Didn't expect it to stay up by itself. Yeah, this vehicle got the really nice springs. I'm used to that stupid stick you gotta put up. It's one durable truck, whatever they hit. Not a single dent on anything. Nothing's wrong with it. Didn't hurt the grill or anything. That's exactly what I was mentioning when I first came up here. New vehicles would probably never be able to do that. Wow. Alright everyone, I said I would look, and it's a central electric furnace. I did not expect it to be an electrical furnace, but it is. So I guess when I was looking at those checks earlier, and it said they ordered oil, that must have been from a different house. Remember, the check said 1986. It may not even have been this house. It probably was not this house. That was a very long time ago. And this house, it looks kind of... I don't think it was the same house. They must have lived somewhere else, or like I said, maybe they ordered fuel oil for a tractor or something that had nothing to do with the house. Yeah, this is exactly what I thought. We're inside a mobile home, and see here, it's the heating certificate when they purchased the motor or the mobile home. It's a double-wide mobile home. Oh, this is really cool too. It says manufactured 10/4/1985. So now we know exactly when this place was built. And look at that, it has a list of the appliances. Cooking appliance was a Whirlpool. Refrigerator was a Whirlpool. That's really cool. I don't see any personal information here, so that's good too. It's just the specs on it. And it looks like they were making this for quite a while too. It says 1976 at the bottom of this document. I love this stained glass. I know that orange is out of style, but it's nice. Yeah, I could tell when I first walked in, when I mentioned the floor was not that solid, I could tell it was a mobile home, but I wasn't exactly sure because I know now they have homes that are like prefabricated. I wasn't exactly sure, but now it definitely is. This would be a great property because you see this thing right here, the electrical meter. I could literally easily open this thing up. There's probably a shutoff right here. Disconnect the house, put an RV hookup. This would be an awesome property just to have like an RV hookup. And this thing right here, because it's such a big property, you could just let it fall apart in the woods, or enough money you could tear it down. I want to look. Yep, the breaker's right there. And the power's on to the house. Weird. And it looks like we have a orb weaver friend in here. Let's zoom into that while I balance the box on the top of my head. That's a friend. Now let's gently close this so we don't interrupt the friend. Alright. That doesn't close, but that's the way out for the spider too. So according to the map, this is where the road would have gone back down and met. That is actually really cool because we were just talking about if this place was in the middle of the woods, and it's a good place in the middle of the woods. It's good for, definitely good for the apocalypse being back this far away from the road. But being back this far and having the river crossing the driveway, there's always the chance it could wash out. But if you have two ways out and they split into one before hitting the road, that really does lower your chances of that happening. Look at this deck. That's still very stable. I remember one time when I was in West Virginia, I was exploring this abandoned mobile home on the side of the road, and it was the absolute worst quality I've ever seen. They built the decks out of non-pressure treated plywood, and then they put carpet on top of it, which kept moisture down, and it was, you couldn't even walk on it. You had to walk on the beams because it like melted around it like gooey cardboard. Got their own transformer up here and everything. Yep. I always assumed that blood turned brown after a while. I'm sure there's a possibility that this might be paint, but it is really creepy anyways. I think it's blood. I don't see any, not even a scratch on the front of the truck. I know things were built real tough back then. That was an impact from like a deer. It could have been. That could have been the antlers going through. There's a lot of speculation going on now. All right, everyone. I'm giving you guys a quick look of this room with a setting that really brightens it up. I don't usually use this setting because just the slightest light makes me overexpose so much. That's a really cool shop vac. Breaker panel. Is the power on in here? Can't even read that. It says on, and so does the meter in the yard. So, if that's all true, there's some dangerous situation going on somewhere. Don't want to get zapped. Gotta say, the body on this truck is in really, really good shape. And that cap we saw on the road can't be from this, because this is not, this is a flatbed. Good for moving things. Creepy box. Take a look at the incredible forest behind this house. It's so dark and cool. I imagine some really nice, refreshing breezes come out of here in the summertime. Take a look at this, everyone. I'm now noticing over where that other road is, there's also a gate from a pasture or a fence going around the entire area where they were growing. This may have been just a, I don't know, maybe a cattle farm, but then they have that building out front. So I'm assuming it was some type of farm, which is really cool. And there's a rain barrel. All right, we're walking back down the road, about to wrap up this video. I hope today's adventure was exciting. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. This is where the loop completes. That loop that also started up at the house. This way, you can tell, is definitely a more swampy route. Probably just access to whatever there was in the fields. Thanks for watching. Big puddle time.